national officials for this match. First referee, Mr. Patrick Alan Castillo. Second referee, Mr. Joshua Obispo. Let's call on our starting lineup from our Chery Tiggo Crossovers. Let's begin with our team captain. She wears jersey number 9, Energy Laure. At number 2, Jasmine Nabor. Wearing jersey number 5, Aimee Kim Hernandez. At number 8, Aya Laure. Number 22, Pauline Marie Gaston. And number 23, Maria Shaya Adorador. Starting libero is number 25, Buding Duremdes. Head coach, Mr. Aaron Velez. Calling on our Gerflor Defenders. Let's begin with jersey number 2, Satriani Espiritu. At number 6, Sarah Gonzalez. Wearing jersey number 7, Menchi Tubiera. At number 17, Jenny Gaviola. Number 21, Jeanette Villarreal. And number 22, Mary Grace Berte. Starting libero is our team captain at number 19, Pia Gabriel Sarmiento. Head coach, Mr. Sinfronio Sammy Akailar. This match is under the supervision and regulation of the Games and Amusements Board. Match number 20.
Here are your starters. Start a new way to watch the PVL via the Pilipinas Live app for Filipinos everywhere. Download and subscribe now for only 149 pesos as we check out the starters here in the camp of Coach Velez, EJ Laure, Aimee Hernandez, Aya Laure, Pauline Gaston, Jazz Nabor, Shaya Adorador, and Buding Duremdes. Of course, going to the next side of the court, we have Shang Berte, Net Villarreal, Jen Gaviola, Sati Espiritu, Jane Gonzalez, Chito Biera, and Pia Sarmiento. Looks like the regular troops of both our coaches for today's match as we give you set number 1 here. And the first point will be scored by the Chery Tiggo Crossovers, courtesy of Aimee Hernandez.
Aimee Hernandez very quick on that first play for the crossovers. So I think that's the strategy for Coach Velez today. Activate their middles first before going to the pin spikers.
Jasnabor with that serve. And it's good for the Gerflor Defenders. Tubiera to thank for that point on the board for them.
That's a good set coming from Gonzalez. Going back set, only a single block against EJ Laure.
Menchi Tubiera, one of the leading scorers in their previous matchup and last week. Of course, Aya Laure powers through the double block, and second point goes to Chery Tiggo.
Laure not minding the 2 blockers in front of her, just squeezing her attack in between the blockers. Tignan natin kung mas mag-iinit dito si
Yung
EJ
ate.
Laure, no?
Oo, tama.
Because so far, she has already tied her conference stats. Kasi Invitational Conference, she had 44. Now she has 44 with that attack.
Right. And Net Villarreal on your screens as Gerflor goes up to 2. It's a tie ball game here. Phil Oil, Eco Oil Arena. Thank you everyone for watching us wherever you are on the Pilipinas Live app as well. As Net Villarreal will put the ball in play. First ball there, Buding. Nabor chooses Aimee down the line. And Gerflor was stuck in the mud. Wala nakahabol nun, Ish.
That's what I mentioned earlier in the pregame. No? They have to help Sarmiento out when it comes to their floor defense, because they cannot do transition plays or counter-attack plays if they cannot defend at the back of the court.
Aimee Hernandez, 3 serving 2. Good first ball there. Back set. Chery Tiggo has it. They slow it down. Off-speed hits and no coverage here for the part of the Gerflor Defenders. But speaking of both our teams, let's head on over to courtside with Kyla Kinso for this report.
Yani and Ish, for teams like Gerflor that have yet to snatch their first win of the conference, it is critical for every single member of the team to step up and contribute to each aspect of the game. And for Shang Berte, who has been ever reliable and who has been leading the charge for the team in terms of scoring, she says that at this point of the conference, she expects her girls to improve their level of game. In her words, it all starts by taking the initiative to make the extra effort from the very first rally. And facing a team like Chery Tiggo, Shang says that their agility drills will come into play, and she hopes their focus on this the past weekend will pay off to finally bring the team to the win column. Now let's go back to this exciting Halloween matchup, which you can experience better on the Pilipinas Live app. Download and subscribe now for just 149 pesos a month. Now back to you, Yani and Ish.
Kyla, we're excited to see Gerflor tighten it up, of course, in their defense and offense. You just saw a while ago, parang may miscommunication on the side of Gerflor. Ish, what did you see there?
That was a wild play, not because it wasn't a good set, no, but I think the communication wasn't there. Knowing Coach Sammy, he wants to implement combination plays. So they really have to communicate properly if they want to score off those kinds of plays.
But Chery Tiggo is just going on a run here, and you check that out closer as it catches the net, and the left serve brings them up to 7 here in the first match on this Tuesday. Amy Hernandez, I mean, I'm not surprised anymore at this point, but it seems like that she still has to maximize her potential, no, with the Chery Tiggo crossovers, but parang nabati ko ata yung service net.
Yeah, the analyst curse sometimes whenever we compliment the players, no, nagkaka-error. But I think you're right. This is only their second conference, and so far we are seeing, you know, great improvements pagdating dito sa sistema ni Coach Veles. I think they're slowly adapting to the kind of play that PVL has to offer.
Speaking of play, it's 8-3 now, courtesy of the younger Laura with a reverse from Jas Nabor. And that attack over there catches it off the wipe of the hands of Gerflor.
It's a great read by Nabor, faking it and then going to the back set. We're gonna see a lot more of that today.
Quick set and attack by Jane Gonzalez to Espiritu is blocked, closed by Shaya Dorador and Pauline Gaston on the Chery Tiggo side. As we see that closely, I think that was Pauline was able to single block that to get them to another score. Aya Laure serves again. A chase, Jane Gonzalez doesn't get it on time, giving that point to Chery Tiggo.
Laure targeting Sarmiento in that serve. And, as you mentioned, Gonzalez wasn't able to catch up to that shank pass. So they decide to put Clavano in as the setter on the court.
Right. In their previous matchup as well, it was Umandal who started, but this time it's Espiritu on the court for Coach Sammy Akailar. A bump set, Berte tries this time, Buding, the one-handed dig. They give a rainbow to Gerflor Defenders. Shang Berte tries again, but that one sails too long for Gerflor. The players try to ask for a check, but I think they'll let this point go.
Yeah, that was way out for Berte. That was actually a miss hit. So naturally, it's another point for the crossovers. And look at the serves of Laure. Really putting a premium on their first line of offense.
Laure with a chase. Chance ball by Gerflor. Clavano will go to the wing. Buding with another one-handed dig. Shaya Adorador this time. Quick set and attack there. Coverage by Aya. EJ with an off-speed hit. Pancake save by Sarmiento. They push it. They go back to Shaya. Too wide for Shaya Adorador.
Long rally there. And Gerflor winning that point off of an attack error from Adorador. So that's a good sign for the defenders, trying to hang in there in every point. that's what they need to do now if they want an upset win against the Chery Tiggo Crossovers today.
Chang Berte on your screens is not a stranger to a high-level play of volleyball, as she was part of previous teams as well before. But in this matchup today, umaangat yung Chery Tiggo as we see in that previous play here on your screens. They didn't close out in time, tama ba, Ish?
Yeah, that's right. And the serve wasn't too loaded. That's why so far we can see Nabor just staying in her setter's box, no? Just like that. Walang kahirap-hirap when it comes to her setting in this first set.
Close out once again by Chery Tiggo. Sarmiento with an up-end into their own campfire ish here in the Gerflor Defenders. As we head on to our first technical timeout on 13, courtesy of Chery Tiggo. We're back here in the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center here in San Juan City, and we give you guys a Tuesday filled with volleyball action. New streaming experiences also await via the Pilipinas Live app, available for Filipinos everywhere. Download and subscribe now for as low as 149 pesos. And the Pilipinas Live app has been a treat for me, ish, kasi I watch the UAAP. Now there are select games on the NBA, and you can also watch the PVL as well and other leagues too. So sulit for me yung 149 pesos, and for my family as well na nanonood too. But here in our matchup on Tuesday, we have the Chery Tiggo Crossovers against the Gerflor Defenders, as we just came from our first technical timeout at 13. Now, this is a new rule for people who just started watching. It's actually game 20, but it's just the fourth game of the conference. The technical timeout is at the 13th now, but we check out some stats here as Chery Tiggo has 6 assists, 1 block, 3 aces, and 2 errors, while Gerflor has 2 attacks, 0 blocks, 0 aces, and 3 errors. Before that point a while ago, Chery Tiggo goes up to 4, and it becomes a 10-point game as we check that out closer.
That's a good close out on the block there by Jasmine Nabor. And so far, the defenders are not connecting when it comes to their offense. Even their coverage isn't there because the communication isn't really well polished so far in this first set.
So it's communication for you that you're seeing that the Gerflor Defenders need to work on,
Right.
Especially itong first set natin.
I agree. And you have to also see that Chery Tiggo is playing with finesse right now when it comes to their attacks and their defense. Very well coordinated. And dun pa lang sa service line, may kita mo na they're really targeting zones and areas wherein nahihirapan itong Gerflor Defenders na makapasa na maganda sa setter nila.
We'll go back to that point as we listen into Coach Sammy.
Kumikilos, gumagawa sila. Gumagawa sila para makascore. So tayo dapat, meron tayong ganyan.
Too far for the ball in, ball out challenge here on the Gerflor Defender side. This is an unsuccessful challenge, but this could have been an opportunity for Coach Sammy to not use the timeouts, but instead rally the team para they can talk about it na here during the challenge system.
An alternative way for our coaches to actually briefly talk to their players.
Right.
without calling a timeout, as you mentioned.
So Gerflor has one challenge left out of the two, as that challenge a while ago was unsuccessful. They have one timeout per set as well. It's an 11-point game right now ish. It's a Chery Tiggo versus Gerflor. And that becomes a service ace here for Shaya Adorador.
That's what I'm talking about, no? Sa service line pa lang, alam na nila na they can score. So they're really loading up on their services. And I think the Gerflor defenders have to step up to the plate when it comes to their passing, because they will not be able to create plays and score points if they don't have the first pass. That's a good pass.
Off-speed hit, coverage by Jas Nabor. Pauline there just pushes it and gets it off of the hands of Shai Umandal.
And even that point, no? Medyo rattled na nga dun si Laure and Pongge Gason, but they were still able to push it down for the point.
Right, nagawan nila ng paraan for their 17th point here as Shaya continues to serve. Set to Tubiera. And she pushes it to... the point will go to the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. Am I right-ish?
There was a net infraction called against Tubiera, and it's a huge lead for the Crossovers. Time out here for Coach Sammy.
Kung si service lang kalaban, tayo papasa, di ba? So pasahan natin ng maganda. Ngayon, kung gumanda ang pasa natin, sinisit ang setter. So what is the next? Yung spiker naman ngayon, ang pang the last touch, di ba? Kasi nangyayari sa inyo, nangyayari kayo, ang dami niyong sinasabi, pero hindi niyo si ginagawa. Sinasabi ko na sa inyo yan, pag naglalaro kayo, alisin niyo mga stress na yan. Walang mangyayari sa atin. Galawan lang ninyo, salita, galaw, okay?
Let's go.
Sige, go. New game.
Let's go.
Hawakan mo sa
Focus lang. Kaya na ibinibigyan ng bola.
Coach Tammy reminding the girls to zone in this game and to really put their minds into this match-up today. Sabi niya nga na ang dami daw nila iniisip, ang dami nilang sinasabi with their conversations here, but kailangan nilang mag-focus sa laro na ito. Ish, as a player, paano ka ba nagfo-focus into the game and how do you get your mindset into the match?
I think you go into every game that you already have a mindset. You've already talked to yourself, you've already talked to your coaches, you've already talked to your teammates. So when you're inside the court, yes, the communication must be there, but it's also time for action already. Because sabi nga naman, talk is cheap. So if you don't do well inside the court, you're not performing as an athlete.
Right. So it comes even before the match-up, dapat naka-zone in na din. And
That's right.
implementation na during the game as Tubiera tries with that attack and over-receive. Will give it back to Chi Tubiera. Chery Tiggo will go with EJ Laure. Lavano with a reverse to Genderoli. Pauline Gaston there and no one to cover with that gaping hole for the Gerflor Defenders.
And so far, itong Chery Tiggo Crossovers going to actually all of their spikers. They're activating everyone here in this first set. And itong Gerflor Defenders naman trying to maximize on their pin spikers, pero to no avail. They cannot score yet. Ayun.
That one though stops the bleeding for Gerflor courtesy of long service from the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. It's 5 serving 20 right now. Shai Umandal on the helm. Ding Doremdes with the first ball. Jas Nabor, EJ pushes it. Lavano goes to Tubiera. Off-speed hit. Pancake and Shaya Adorador with an up. Jas. Net Villarreal makes away. And that's a good sign here for the Gerflor Defenders. They were able to stop the bleeding and maximize from that previous service error as we check that out closer.
They started that point right now with a heavy serve. And they went to their open spiker. They went to a running attack. And then Yun yung hinahanap ni Coach Sammy. They have to put in the work inside the court. And that's what they did in that last point.
Good time out a while ago by Coach Sammy as they got 2 consecutive points. Tobiera is blocked here. Clavano chooses Villarreal again. Blocked too, but no one there to cover for the Gerflor Defenders.
Yeah, because usually you can see a defender for the coverage behind the hitter. Pero look at them, they're just standing behind her. So naturally, talagang mahihirapan ka makapag-cover after that hit.
Pauline Gaston, 21 serving 6. It's set number 1 here. Tubiera tries with a cross court. Chaya Adorador from the pipe. Ea Laure. Tubiera will go again. And into the donut hole of the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. Ayan, lumalaban na yung Gerflor. I guess they're trying to get their groove in set number 1.
Tubiera again doing that kind of an attack, playing it smart. She could see that there's a donut hole doon sa gitna ng depensa ng crossovers. So she went there for that attack.
Lara Clavano, that service, but that crucial serve will give a point to the Chery Tiggo Crossovers as they inch towards the match point. Now, Joymi Cagande will go in for Jazz Nabor. And in the first 2 games that Chery Tiggo had, Joymi did not step on the court. Their last game, rather, she was able to see minutes on set number 2 and set number 3. Attack there, but that's too wide for Chi.
It's back-to-back errors, Yani, from the Gerflor Defenders. And that's something that they cannot afford because they're trying to catch up here this first set.
Joymi Cagande again with a service. Ooh, there was some hesitation on the side of Gerflor once again. A push. And Ea Laura just saw that gaping hole in the middle of the defenders as Chery Tiggo is at set point.
Very smart in that last play. She saw that there's already 2 blockers in front of her. So, tinarget niya na lang muna para sa likod ng blockers.
And itong Chery, they're not doing it, it's not very hard then. It's just really smart plays that they're doing right now. EJ Laure with that attack. Sarmiento got that one as Tubiera will try again. And while the ball gives Gerflor another point, it's 8-24 right now.
Going off the block there, in between the block of Laure and Hernandez. That's a good find for Tubiera.
It's 8 serving 24. Crucial serve for Gerflor. They want to save a set point. Oh, but speaking of saving a set point, Aimee wanted to finish this set early. It's 25-8 right now as we see the winning point here on your screens.
Aimee Hernandez starting this set with a point, and then she ends it with a P-quick. Crossovers, Yani taking the first set.
Chery Tiggo 25, Gerflor at 8, and we'll be back with more volleyball action here in the PVL. There's also a way to via the Pilipinas Live app available for Filipinos everywhere. Download and subscribe now for as low as 149 pesos. Welcome back here in the Premier Volleyball League, the heart of volleyball. Chery Tiggo against the Gerflor Defenders. You saw that grueling set, I guess, at this point in set number 1. The Gerflor Defenders were spooked against the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. What are the things that they need to adjust? But what did Chery Tiggo do right to get that amazing lead?
Well, for the part of the Gerflor Defenders, they have to be more aggressive when it comes to their first ball, their passing, and of course their attacks. Kasi they're playing departments talaga went Chery Tiggo's way in that first set win. So Gerflor Defenders really have to dig deep and have to play their brand of volleyball here. Coach Sammy also mentioned in their timeout earlier that they have to put in the work and they have to act accordingly. They want to keep it close and eventually get a win.
Right, Coach Sammy here on your screens as Gerflor Defenders try to go back to ground zero and just remember the basics and the fundamentals of playing volleyball. Mental game na din to at this point kasi the Chery Tiggo Crossovers really showing that they're comfortable on the court. As you mentioned a while ago, the flow of their defense and offense has been great to see here on the Chery Tiggo side, especially with Aimee Hernandez and Aya Laure, two contributing well on the Chery Tiggo side. But Racel is here on the court for the first time here in set number 2. A while ago, she did not see action for set number 1. And the Gerflor Defenders try to get a set number 2 against the Chery Tiggo Crossovers to extend this matchup as we give you action here in the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center. Yanni Mayo here with Ish Polvorosa and Kyla Kingsu on the sidelines to give you all of the volleyball action. Happy Halloween, everyone, and thank you very much for joining us here in the PVL second All-Filipino Conference. A slight delay as the referees are clarifying rotations as we see Villarreal, Clavano, Racelis, Sarmiento, Gaviola in the Gerflor Defenders side, and Dance Gendrauli. And here on the Chery Tiggo side, Jazz Nabor getting ready to serve. Ces Robles as well on the floor, Aimee Hernandez. Both Laure sisters with Buding Doremdes for Coach Aaron Velez. So the reverse to Net Villarreal is a good sign here for the Gerflor Defenders as they start with more energy here in set number 2-ish.
Very good start here for the defenders. That's a great pass to the setter's box, and then that running kill. Ayun yung kailangan nila. They have to connect each part of volleyball here if they want to keep it close against the crossovers.
Buding Doremdes with the chase. Jazz Nabor will give them a chance ball. Do they take it? Gendrauli. Ces Robles, first ball. Joust at the net. Aimee Hernandez finds the hole in the back as Chery Tiggo will go up 2-1 here in set number 1. Set number 2, rather.
Hernandez just ad-libbing. It's partially blocked, and then that regalo, no? Getting it on top of Gendrauli, targeting the end zone of the floor defense of the defenders.
EJ Laure, one serving. One here in set number 2. Gaviola with that attack. Aimee Hernandez puts it up for Ces Robles. Lavano goes back to Villarreal. And we head on over to Kyla Kingsu. Kyla, what do you have for us?
Earlier in the first In the first set, I spoke about Gerflor's top scorer, Chang Berte. So it would only be fair of me to share snippets of my conversation with Chery Tiggo star Ea Laure, who has been much louder in this conference, even as an opposite spiker this time around. When I asked her how she was feeling about this matchup against a winless team, she said that there is no room for complacency, no matter their opponent. In her words, as Coach Aaron Velez always tells us, hindi pwede mawalan ng respeto sa kalaban. And so we will be giving our 200% and make sure that it is a dominant win today to make up for last week. Can they do just that and finish in our favorite straight set fashion? Well, you can find out by watching and experiencing this game better on the Pilipinas Live app. Download and subscribe now for only 149 pesos a month. Now back to you, Yanni and Ish.
Thank you, Kyla. As you reported, we see Chery Tiggo with another point on the board. But Gerflor this time leading by 1 point. Coach Tai on your screens, a Creamline Cool Smashers here watching the matchup. Later on, we'll see the Creamline Cool Smashers against the Farm Fresh Foxies later in the afternoon.
Together with Coach Tai, that was Coach Sir Sherwin Malonzo, tournament director of this conference.
Sarmiento with an up, Clavano. Go to Jen, but no go here for the Gerflor Defenders as Chery Tiggo will make it a tie at 3 as we check it out closer.
It's a block point for Ces Robles, closing out of down the line area for the crossovers.
Aimee Hernandez with 6 points from 4 attacks and 2 aces, and a misreceive. A bump here by the coaches of the Gerflor Defenders to put the ball back in, but the Chery Tiggo Crossovers will lead by 1 point.
That's a good serve no, from Aimee Hernandez, targeting that area in between Sarmiento and Racelis.
Aimee again with the service. Back set. And that is good for Jen Gaviola here in the Gerflor Defenders side as they keep the match neck and neck early on here in set number 2.
That's a good back set to Gaviola. You can see that the blocker of the crossovers was late in that block. It all started with a good pass, so that's what they really need to do here.
Speaking of good pass, Ea Laure with that cross-court hit. It's 5-4 now on your screens.
That wasn't the best of passes, no? Pero nagawa ng paraan ni Nabor, and of course, Ea Laure again targeting that cross-court area for the point.
We see Ea Laure, UST Golden Tigress. Here in the pros, a chase. And a rainbow ball. Jazz Nabor goes to Ces Robles, and down the line hit is good for the former UAAP MVP.
Couldn't go back in time. We're Sarmiento and then Rowley for that floor defense. Ces Robles, the court sense, nakita niya na they were still scrambling. Yung floor defense ng defenders. It's a good pass.
Catracelis blocked. Sarmiento stuck in the mud. No one to cover there for the Gerflor Defenders.
That was an even better close out of the block by Karandang and Nabor. It's Nabor again. I wonder how many kill blocks she's already had here in the game.
Zakarandang on the court for Coach Aaron Velez. Jen Gaviola gets a point here for Gerflor. And the points are still neck and neck here in set number 2. A good sign for the defenders as we check that attack out once again.
And Gaviola from the right pin. It seems like they're scoring a lot of points from that side of the net. Kasi medyo weak side ni Karandang humabol doon. But as I say that,
Zakarandang.
bumawi ka agad eh. With that running kill. It's a fast set as well from Nabor. Look at that set, the precision of that set to Karandang. Just beside that net.
Zakarandang's first point here in their matchup against Gerflor. Ces Robles with the serve. It's 8-3. Catracelis, will she get a point. Coverage here. Jas Nabor goes back to EJ Laure.
Good sequence there from Nabor. That was a passive block and then a fake on the 1-2, and then that's a Japan play, no? And then he set it to Laure on the left pin.
9 serving 5 here in set number 2. Ces Robles with 2 points so far in this ball game. Catracelis off the hands of the blockers. Buding Duremdes to EJ. Clavano goes back to Jen Gaviola. Nabor to Ces Robles. And that one goes wild for the Gerflor Defenders. It's 10-5 now, courtesy of Ces Robles.
One of the few times Nabor went to the back row and Ces Robles was ready for that set.
A while ago, you were saying that the attack and the set by Jas Nabor to EJ Laure was sort of like a Japan style of play. Ito si Coach Sammy, I think you're familiar with his style din. What does he usually go for, or what is the style of coaching that he has, especially that this is a new team, the Gerflor Defenders?
He's a kind of coach who wants to see combination plays inside the court when you have a perfect pass or a good pass. And then he also wants his setters to activate the middles first before going to the pins. But so far, they are not able to implement that kind of play because nahihirapan nga sila sa first ball nila. Pero compared to their first set output when it comes to passing, mas maganda na itong first balls nila in the second set compared to the first set.
Ooh, read like a book. Zakarandang and Jas Nabor closes that attack here as Chery Tiggo goes up to 12.
That's a good block. Again, I think it's Nabor. I think that's what's missing naman, no? Dito sa defenders. Okay na yung first ball nila. They can also defend, but the cover behind the spikers, it's not present so far for the Gerflor Defenders. So, kasi the coaches always say, hindi natatapos yung volleyball when your spikers spike the ball. You have to cover kasi there's still a possibility of your teammate getting blocked no matter how many blockers are in front of the spiker.
And we go on to our first technical timeout here in set. Welcome back in the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center Bingo Plus, the first live streaming bingo in the Philippines. You're witnessing Chery Tiggo Crossovers against the Gerflor Defenders for our first matchup here in this PVL Halloween edition Tuesday, as we see the Chery Tiggo Crossovers and the Gerflor Defenders. A while ago, Pia Sarmiento, a point from Chery Tiggo brought us to the first technical timeout. And Pia Sarmiento had to release a sigh as they are still yet to get a run here. A while ago, sabi mo nga, Ish, na it's the coverage na kailangan gawin in the Gerflor Defenders squad. And this team has an overhaul of members nga over in the off-season. Pia Sarmiento, one of which that stayed with the team, but they did add players like Jane Gonzalez from Army, Nat Villarreal, and Tubiera on your screen. So have yet to show rather their showing prowess. Jen Nerva goes up here on the court for Chery Tiggo, joining her batchmate Ces Robles as she gears up to serve. It's 13-5, set number 2. Welcome everyone watching on the Pilipinas Live app, available for Filipinos everywhere. Serve there to Biera with the first ball. Over receive. EJ sends it back. Chi will try again. But the down the line is too wide for Chito Biera.
No, the power was there, but the execution was just not perfect from Tobiera. They were able to score a lot of cross-court hits from the right pin earlier, so I think it's better if they maximize on that kind of an attack from the right pin.
Cesc Robles again with the serve, a chase. Ooh, and that sails out. Good way to maximize that block from the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. As we check it out, Gonzalez here going to Bien.
No fear. That left pin attack. Kasi Nabor has already, I think, 3 or 4 kill blocks. So, ito namang defenders, talagang kailangan na magtuloy-tuloy when it comes to their scoring. 2 kill blocks for Nabor.
3 kill blocks for Nabor. For Karandang, we have 2 naman.
Okay.
2 attack points. Za Karandang. It's 15-6. 11-point lead. Will this narrative be the same as set number 1 as Gerflor scrambles? Tobiera blocked and no one with the support here for the defenders. It's your story. Again, Ish, kanina you mentioned nga yung coverage, the support that the Gerflor defenders need to have, while Jaisal De Los Reyes here on the court for the Chery Tiggo Crossovers.
And Gerflor also started off with 2 running hits now. And so far, they haven't gone to their middle blockers in the last few points.
And Gerflor gets a point on the board. 16-6 right now. Laura and Cesc Robles having some words a while ago as Tobiera will do the honors. 16-7 rather on your scoreboard. Jaisal De Los Reyes with that attack. Jendrauli will try double block coverage by Chery Tiggo. Jen with the cover, and off the hands of Daz is Jazz Nabor.
Nabor, very offensive-minded in that last play. It's what she wanted to do earlier, but this time around, she succeeded with attacking that second ball. Because why not get that first ball? And she's a lefty. That's very hard to guard if you're a blocker on the other side of the net.
Joy Gande, as we see Franz Ronquillo here on the court. She joins Jaisal De Los Reyes, who did not see action in their matchup against Akari back on October 24. But that one sails... Oh, it's inside. There's a touch according to our first referee. Some substitutions coming in. Oh, the block touch challenge.
Yeah, because the first referee overruled the call of the linesman. So it's time for the Crossovers' first challenge in this set.
Right. I think also first challenge in this game.
Yeah.
Diba? And the challenge a while ago was the Gerflor Defenders. Now we're looking at a block touch challenge for the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. In this angle, I wasn't able to follow who touched the ball. Just saw the linesman na lang say that it was outside, I believe. But we'll review this here as we see Franz Ronquillo, Jaisal De Los Reyes, Joy Cagande, EJ Laure, Jen Yerva, and Cesc Robles here on the court. And speaking of Coach Sammy Akailar a while ago, Ish, you mentioned that he's into combination plays. But how is he as a person naman off the court? Is he someone that is as intense as we've witnessed here in this matchup today?
I think he's a kind of a coach wherein especially when it comes to games and trainings, no, talagang gusto niya makita everything that you've practiced. And yun naman talaga yung nature ng coaches natin. And they want to see our best volleyball when it comes to the games.
Right.
And
the
I
block
think,
coverage
yeah.
unsuccessful, but you were saying.
But I think for the part of the Gerflor Defenders, so far they haven't played their best here in this game. And they're still looking for that first set win in this conference. So,
Oh, tama. Good point. Pia Sarmiento, Gonzalez goes to the wing. Joymi will choose Jaisal. Oh, EJ rather. And EJ scores a point here for Chery Tiggo. She laps that one off though. As we check out the action here in our screens.
that was a good block throw from Villarreal, but there was no first ball connection from the defenders of Gerflor.
Clavano and Gaviola goes in for Gerflor as Joymi Cagande gives a point to the defenders with that service error. Gaviola on your screens with Jandrauli. And on the service line is Lara Clavano. It's 8 serving 19 here in set number 2. And we see Jen Nerva with the first ball. Joymi Cagande chooses France. And the shank will give the point to the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. I believe that's the first point of France here in this ball game.
It wasn't the strongest of spikes, man. Jinko was there to defend that ball. But the positioning of her body wasn't perfect for that dig.
EJ Lauda with 3 points from 2 attacks and 1 block so far. Gaviola will push it. Combination play by Cess, read well there by the defenders. A push here by EJ Laure. Ooh, and AJ Jinko with that pass to Jen Gaviola is good for the Gerflor Defenders.
I think 3 or 4 of their attack points here in the second set came from that right pin. No? So they have to maximize on it. They have to adjust and adapt to the kind of blocking system na pinapakita nitong Chery Tiggo Crossovers in this game.
Back set to France. Ronquillo is good as she scores another point here for the Crossovers, 21-9.
Making the most out of her time here inside the court. Talking about Ronquillo of the Chery Tiggo Crossovers.
So Jai Atienza on your screens and Jaisel De Los Reyes with the serve. Reverses to Jen. Zakarandang says no go. Send back to sender.
I think that was called out, no? The
outside.
Yeah, the block touch of Chery Tiggo. So that point goes to the Gerflor Defenders.
Dan's here with the service, 10-21. Cagande to Sa. Clavano with the forearm set. They go back to France, and that catches the line. The linesman here said there's a touch as well. So we see some Squid Games over on the bench to be revealed who is under the costume. Happy Halloween, everyone. It's 22-21 right now as we head on over to a timeout called by Coach Sammy Akailar. Let's listen in.
Ang palo niya pa ganun lang, oh. Parang ano lang, oh. Hindi naman pumapalo talagang papalo ka ng... Di ba how many times I told you? Lalo yung mga open spiker natin. Hindi tayo makapuntos kung ganyang klase ang palo natin. Basagin nyo talaga ang bola. Naintindihan? Ikaw kung ma-block, meron naman nagko-cover sa atin, di ba? Saka huwag kayo matakot gumalaw, guys, girls. Paluin nyo lang. Ano na palo?
Coach Sammy Akailar asking for more power from the Gerflor Defenders. It's a 12-point game right now against the Chery Tiggo Crossovers, and they have yet to get a set here in the All-Filipino Conference, talking about the Gerflor Defenders. Franz Ronquillo with a serve. Dan's got that one. They go to Chi. Cagande with a dump over on 2 play. Good for Jaime.
It's a good dig from Nierva. The end of protection.
Right?
Cagande. After 1-2 play, kita-kita niya yung butas ng depensa ng defenders.
And you girls on the court, says Robles, Jaime Cagande, and Jen Nierva, but that sails out, giving Gerflor an 11th point here. Right now, we have Jen Gaviola gearing up to serve. EJ Laure with the first ball. Jen will set it to fellow NU. Says Robles to Biera with the cross court. Jen again. Jenny.
Yeah, that's the right call right there. You could see right away, dun pa lang sa spin, sa ikot ng bola, that was a double contact against Cagande.
And Gerflor will get the point from that error. It's 12 serving 23 in set number 2. Says Robles with a down the line hit. And as we say, Slay Princess, says Robles. Back in our pregame, it's set point here.
Intentionally targeting that down the line because it was Clavano, the setter, blocking that area.
Let's see if Cesc Robles can bring this set home with that let serve. To Biera, powerful attack there. EJ with an off-speed hit. Chance ball. Zacarandang just touches it off the hands of Chito Biera to get the set point. It's 25-12, courtesy of Zacarandang, as we check the winning point out here in this replay. A very smart move there by Za, and we'll be back with more volleyball action later on. Please don't go away.
PVL, you are still watching the exciting matchup between the Chery Tiggo Crossovers and the Gerflor Defenders. Again, it is Halloween here in the PVL, and as you can see here, over at our Be Real, our Gerflor Defenders actually came in either as fairies and devils, clearly full of energy today and good vibes dancing for us here, and even their head coach, Sammy Akailar, came in ready for Halloween. So we love the effort of our teams today. While for Chery Tiggo naman, as you can see, they're all in their money heist costumes and masks, making us in the broadcast team guess who is who. And EJ Laure actually initiated this idea and ordered the costumes for her girls. Now, I'm sure we're in for more exciting costumes from other teams, so stay tuned. Back to you, Yanni and Ish.
Thank you, Kyla, for that really cute Be Real as we check out our score here, 25-8 in set number 1 and 25-12 here in set number 2. Of course, new streaming experiences also await via the Pilipinas Live app, available for Filipinos everywhere. Download and subscribe now for as low as 149 pesos as we check out our set 2 highlights. The Gerflor Defenders able to bring up with their score a bit against the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. But what is something that they need to work on here going into set number 3-ish?
I think they have to maximize on the place where they can score against the crossovers. As I mentioned earlier, in that second set, while it was ongoing, they scored a lot of attack points. Right pin, the middles, and they started right actually in that set number 2 loss, talking about the Gerflor Defenders, but they gave up a lot of opportunities for the Chery Tiggo Crossovers to set up their plays. As makikita naman natin dito sa tallied points, attack points, napakalaki disparity, 16-7, block points again 4-0, aces 2-1. But the opponent errors, both teams minimizing their errors in that second set. But again, Gerflor has to attack properly and accordingly, and it all starts with their passing, their defending, which is actually better compared to their set number 1 outing. And I think they have to have that courage to go up against the blockers of the Chery Tiggo Crossovers.
And speaking of which, the Chery Tiggo Crossovers here on your screens. Joymi Cagande, France from Quilio. Jay Atienza sa Karandang as they rally on the side. Now with Net Villarreal hoping to get to this set for the Gerflor Defenders squad. And of course, we see both teams going back as we head on to set number 3 action in a bit. The Pia Sarmiento team captain. A while ago, we saw Kim Manzano for the Gerflor Defenders. But Aya Laure has been showing her scoring prowess and, of course, has already exceeded her Invitational Conference statistics. 44 points in the Invitational Conference, 43 in the first 3 games. Aya Laure right now is at 8 points from 7 attacks and really showing her guts here in the game and getting more reps as well. As we bring you action here, it's set number 3. Jane Gonzalez with the coverage. They send it over. Chery Tiggo. Joymir versus to Aya, but that one will go to the Gerflor Defenders squad and their first point on the board.
EJ Laure instructing Joymi to put up her set a bit higher to her liking. That last play lang naman.
Quick set and attack by Jacel De Los Reyes from Joymi. That one is too wide for Gerflor, and Chery Tiggo will go to 1 here.
I think the intimidation when it comes to their attacking, talking about Gerflor Defenders, andun na eh. Kasi kanina pa sila naboblock ng Chery Tiggo from the pins. Ayun, the power isn't there.
Jen sets up Aya Laure, and that down the line hit is good for Aya.
That's the kind of set that she wants from the right pin. Talking about Aya Laure. The Laure sisters actually coming into this game are number 9 and number 10 respectively when it comes to spiking efficiency.
As we check out another score here on the Chery Tiggo side, it's a 2-point lead for the girls in black. Joymi Cagande now on our service line. Ooh. Joymi goes to Aya with that off-speed hit. A chance ball for the crossovers. Back to Aya. Scramble on the court. Double block coverage there. Says Robles will try. Back set to Tubiera, to Indrauli rather. Off-speed hit. Pia Sarmiento will put it up. Coverage there by the Gerflor Defenders, and that cross court will give Gerflor Defenders their second point on the board, and I think this is a good opportunity to go to Kyla Kingsu for this report.
Yani, earlier in the second set, you spoke about batchmates Jen Mierva and Ces Robles, who came in explosively off the bench, really embracing their roles in the team. When I spoke to these two in their dugout earlier this morning, they shared with me that they spent the past week really identifying, assessing, and addressing the weaknesses exposed in their game against Akari. And on embracing their off-the-bench roles, both Jen and Ces share that they always ask themselves and their teammates kung paano ba sila makakatulong na mapadali ang trabaho ng mga starters. And so far, based on the first two sets, we're definitely seeing them and all the other Chery Tiggo girls step up big time in hopes of finishing this Halloween match early. Now let's go back and enjoy the match on the Pilipinas Live app. Download and subscribe now for only 149 pesos a month. Now back to you, Yanni and Ish.
Thank you, Kyla. Ces Robles garnering 12 points from 10 receptions against their game in Akari, and it's good to note that the young bloods of the team are very open to contributing to the ATES, to the starters. And as we mentioned in the pregame, the bench of Coach Aaron Velez is deep for the Chery Tiggo Crossovers, but that one penetrates the wall of the crossovers courtesy of Shang Berete, who we would love to see her hot hands here in this conference.
It's actually back-to-back points for her from the left pin. That's what Coach Sammy wants to see from her squad, no? The fearless attitude when it comes to attacking.
EJ sets up Aya, but into the campfire of the Gerflor Defenders.
The libero was there, middle blocker was there for that free ball, but evidently the communication wasn't there.
Yeah, I think that is what you're saying, at the courage to take initiative, as we see Aya Laure, 3 points from 2 attacks, and EJ Laure rather, 3 points from 2 attacks and 1 block. 10th best scorer, as you said a while ago, so far as of October 28. She's also the 10th best digger, the 3rd best in the outside hitter position.
It's a good attempt from Berted, which is too long. Pero makikita mo, the power is there already, no? Just a matter of giving her a lot of attempts para makuha niya yung range niya when it comes to attacks.
Ces Robles, Jaisel De Los Reyes rather closes that as we check it out here in the replay.
Oh, the Ces Robles.
It says.
Great block. Nabasa niya na Crowley was gonna go cross court.
EJ again with a serve, but that catches the net, and Gerflor minimizes the lead. It's a 1-point game here. Coach Aaron Velez with that sigh.
A better start here for the Gerflor Defenders. Pero this is the frame of the set na lumalayo yung Chery Tiggo Crossovers. Tingnan natin kung masusustain ito ng Gerflor Defenders. And as I say that, pinakita kagad ni Aya Laure that they're up to the task and they want to finish this game as soon as possible. That combination play was deadly. She faked it going to the left of the middle blocker, but then going back to that 4.
Jaisel with that serve there. Coverage here. Ooh. Bodies on the floor, unable to bring that ball through the net and the Gerflor Defenders side. 3-point game right now on your screens. Jaisel from Pangasinan, former Ateneo Blue Eagle, but that one is too long. And Gerflor will get another point here. It's 6-8 right now.
Close third set so far. On your screens, it's Maylene Paat.
With an injury,
Ooh.
able to play, but that one was a powerful attack, and Aya Laure just making this her playground so far.
That was a great set as well from Cagante. See, Villarreal was so late because the set was also so fast from Cagante. And I think Aya Laure is already A double-digit figure right now for Chery Tiggo.
Joymi goes to Cess, and Cess with a down-the-line attack as Chery Tiggo moves away from the Gerflor Defenders squad. It's a 4-point game here.
So she has mastered that kind of an attack now, that risk away, going down the line.
Ea Laure again with the serve. Gonzalez to Villarreal. Over on two is read like a buck by Shang Berete for the Gerflor Defender side.
That's a good block from Berete, but credit half that point to the running play of Villarreal, setting up that block for Shang Berete.
And a happy Halloween to everyone who's watching the spooky edition of the PVL All-Filipino Conference. Joymi Cagande to Ea Laure as she pushes it to the other side. Now to Villarreal is blocked by Cesar Robles. Coverage there. EJ from the pipe. Back to net, and that cross-court attack gives Gerflor the energy that they need for set number 3.
Now they're able to do that because they have the first ball from the floor defense. Now talking about the Gerflor Defenders, and we've seen Villarreal do that kind of an attack time and time again, no, from the past conferences, and she's also a force to be reckoned with when it comes to the middle attacks.
Gonzalez with a dump. Back to Villarreal. And Ea Laure unable to get that ball.
Oh, they're having a good time here, no? A good run, and it's Villarreal again with the hot hands, and Gonzalez very mindful of that, no? Alam niya na she has the hot hand, so she keeps on going to her.
And speaking of hot hand, Shang Berete still at the service line. It's a 1-point game here as Cesar Robles attacks. Back to net. And Cess will try with a down the line covered here. Chery Tiggo will choose Cess again. Too long for Cesar Robles, and Gerflor puts the tie to 10 here in set number 3.
Well, she had the right thing in mind. Villarreal was a bit late on the block there, so she wanted to go cross-court. But again, the execution was just not perfect from Cesar Robles.
An opportunity to lead with Shang Berete serve. Quick set and attack by Sakarandang, and she stops the bleeding of the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. They lead again by 1 point as we check it out closer.
Cagande, after going consecutively to Cesar Robles this time around, opting to go to Karandang on the running play.
Cesar Robles, UAAP MVP Finals.
Oh!
And speaking of UAAP, Season 84 Finals MVP, she gives Chery Tiggo the 12-point, 2-point lead here for the girls in black.
Great serve from Cesar Robles, making up for her mistakes from the left pin attacks earlier. Oh!
Oh, sayang. Service catches the net.
Yeah, just as I complimented her now.
It's a 1-point game as Gerflor minimizes that lead. Net Villarreal here on the service line.
Gerflor Defenders are still trying to find that perfect mix of 6 players inside the court. Again, the Laure sisters unstoppable here in this game.
And just like set 1 and set 2, we head on to our first and only technical timeout as Chery Tiggo up on top. the PVL All-Filipino Conference as we are witnessing women's volleyball matches. But let's head on over to men's action. Watch the men's volleyball action this 2023 at the Spikers Turf Invitational Conference gets going every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday on One Sports Plus, and the Pilipinas Live app. Welcome everyone here in the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center as Zakarandang starts us off from that technical timeout. That catches the line for Gerflor Defenders, and they've used that technical timeout well, I guess, as we check out the replay once again.
Only one blocker in front of
Atienza.
Atienza.
Atienza was the blocker a while ago, unable to get that point for the Chery Tiggo Crossover squad. Joymi Cagande to Aya Laure. Jandrauli here. Joymi to Cess from the pipe, and she gets it off of a touch of the Gerflor Defenders. 2-point lead here for Cess Robles.
Gerflor Defenders trying to keep this set close, and compared to their first and second set outing, this is much better. It's clearly a check on Aya Laure's hands. So again, this is a 13-14 game for Gerflor and Chery Tiggo. Just 1 point behind here, and you can see the difference when it comes to the body language of the defenders in this third set. It seems like they want to fight more.
Right. Not be spooked by the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. And speaking of fight more, Danz gets a point here for Gerflor, 14-all. As we check out that offensive block by Danz Jandrauli.
Signaling, I got one against your top scorer. It's a good feeling.
Just 2 points so far.
Oh!
Bien stuck in the mud as Chery Tiggo goes up to 1, and Jai Atienza seeing action for the first time for the Chery Tiggo Crossover squad. She gets her first point here in the second All-Filipino Conference. Saya Adorador with that serve. And the double block brings Chery up to 16.
It's a good block on the cross court there. And they're up by 2. Atienza closing that out.
First match for Jai Atienza. Currently has 2 points. But that one is too long for the veteran Shaya Adorador. Coming back to the Chery Tiggo squad from playing with Photon in the Invitational Conference along with Jazz Nabor.
This is the perfect opportunity for Gerflor to rack up some points. This is their strongest lineup in front, with Hendrauli, Villarreal, and Berte in front.
That block there. Quick set and attack to Jai Atienza.
Nobody expecting that set to Atienza. Villarreal sagging to the right to block Aya Laure, their ace spiker. And then Cagande very smart with that set.
And speaking of setting to the middle blocker, is it harder to set to the middles compared to the wing spikers?
It's hard if you don't have the pass that you want, talking about, because I can speak from experience as a setter.
Right.
But if you have the perfect pass, it's so much easier to give sets to your middle blockers.
Atienza again, and the trickle serve saved there. Shaya tried to chase that ball, but Gerflor will go up to 16 as Chery Tiggo is at a 2-point lead.
And Rauli off the block. And that's the kind of a hit that they need. Say they have to better the ball. Not every set is perfect. So you have to find ways to score for your team. And Hendrauli being one of the veterans of the Gerflor squad, siya talaga paghuhugutan ng mga ganong smarts.
Tama. Lara Clavano with 3 excellent sets as she served a while ago. An off-speed hit coverage here. Pia Sarmiento will push it to Chery Tiggo. Quick set and attack by Zakarandang. Gerflor unable to cover for that one. Talking about Lara Clavano.
Kagande did peek first before setting it to Karandang. We weren't able to see that in this replay, but that was a good find for Kagande. Talagang pinapaikot niya yung bola. This is the opportunity for them to give a lot of attempts when it comes to spiking para dito sa kanilang other spikers because they really have a deep bench. Talking about the crossovers. And moving forward in this conference, no, at some point in time, they will have to use their other spikers from the bench.
Zakarandang, Jazz Nabor.
Oh!
And the setter scores a point here. It's 20-16 right now.
Even Nabor
Attacks.
scores from the back row. Ayan, magana yun eh. That's on the communication on the floor defense of the Gerflor Defenders. Binigay din, pabalik ka agad sa Gerflor. Just within 3, no? This is their best set so far in this game. Inching closer to that 20-point mark. Talking about the Gerflor Defenders.
Right. And the atmosphere has changed here in the Phil Oil, Eco Oil Center. Gerflor looking more energized, looking more put together compared to set number 1 and set number 2.
Oh!
And speaking of which, Ang Berete lets out a frustrated cry as that ball goes into the net. It's 21-17 right now.
This is where the athlete's maturity sets in. You know? To the 20-point mark, you have to really be mindful of your errors. You can be aggressive, but you know, you have to have it in your mind na hindi na ako pwede magkamali.
Speaking of someone na hindi magkakamali, someone that they can rely on is Shaya Adorador, talking about the crossovers as he scores that point from a cross-court attack.
Confidence. You could really see from the approach pa lang the speed of that approach and of course the power behind that cross-court hit from Adorador.
Robles with 8 points in this ball game. Clavano, they go to Bien. A block there by Gerflor. Communication. Miscommunication on the Chery Tiggo side.
Coverage wasn't ready. The side of Chery Tiggo Crossovers, but they can afford to give one. You're just 3 points away from the W. But for the Gerflor Defenders, this is bad news because Villarreal's now at the back of the court serving for them. One less attacker for them.
Jazz Nabor goes to France. She pushes it. Go to Jen, and she makes a way. Talking about Jen Gaviola on the Gerflor Defenders side. This is the closest Gerflor has been throughout this entire match. It's 19-22. And what is the shift that Gerflor did is that's making them make this a close match here in set number 3?
I think they did not deviate from the game plan of Coach Sammy to maximize their middle blockers in Villarreal. And of course, going to their top spikers so far in this game, which is their right pin hitters. And sabi nga ni Coach Sammy kanina, huwag kayong matakot pumalo. There's coverage. That is their job. After you hit, there must be coverage. So yun yung ginagawa nila ngayon. They're just hitting the ball courageously. Oh, that's a perfect set. The defense was there. Oh!
There's a touch, according to our line referee. First referee says that the ball is out, but let's see if they'll challenge this.
I am not so sure about that, Yan. That was a split-second decision from our linesman and our first referee. Could go either way. From my point of view, there could have been a check ball, but we'll see. Alam natin mga challenges, no? So far, alam natin na minsan konting-konti sa pinky tumatama. That's a check ball. Sometimes, because it's so close, almost is never enough.
And you go on to Coach Sammy as he talks to his girls.
But nonetheless, Yani, this is the closest they've got up against the crossovers here in this game. Look at them. They're at the 20-point mark.
Kalma lang. Okay. Sige, kunin natin yan ha. Pilitin natin ang
And we check out the challenge block touch.
Oh, yeah, there's no block touch.
No block touch here on your screens. And that is the last challenge of Coach Sammy Akailar as it is unsuccessful. Coach Sammy used that opportunity as well to give advice to his squad. Zakarandang with a crucial serve. Jen blocked! And Chery Tiggo is 1 point away from match point. Gerflor, though, can they save another match point as we check it out here on the replay?
It's a good block from Adorador. Mabasa na nila na mas nakakapuntos yung right wing hitters ng Gerflor and the coverage was a bit slow on their feet. Oh! Again, another block point for Adorador to finish the Gerflor Defenders out here in 3 straight sets, Yani.
And but the set number 3 was a good set here for Gerflor Defenders compared to set number 1 and set number 2. As we check out the winning point, Shaya Adorador again with that block to get the point to 25 for the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. As we see Coach Aaron Novelas and his Relive this game and all PVL games anytime, anywhere on the Pilipinas Live app. Available for Filipinos everywhere. Download and subscribe now for 149 pesos. Chery Tiggo Crossovers taking this game in 3 sets. And speaking of the crossovers, we head on over to Kyla Kingsu with one player that spooked their opponents. Kyla, who do you have for us?
Yes, Yanni, here with me is our player of the game, Miss Aya Laure, as well as the rest of the Chery Tiggo Crossovers who are very happy with this straight-set win. So, big congratulations to you and your team, of course. Now, unang-una nagkaroon kayo ng 1-week break since your loss against Akari. So, para sa'yo, ano yung mga preparations and adjustments na nag-work para sa team niyo today?
I think nakatulong sa amin yung pag-focus namin sa service and sa receive, syempre, para, diba? Tama ate yung sagot ko. Pero ayun naman talaga yung magiging pundasyon for us na para maka-atake kami bawat situation.
Now, earlier in the dugout, I spoke to Coach Aaron and he told me na excited siya for the non-starters to really step up. So what can you say about how they showed up today?
Siguro kasi bawat isa sa amin gusto talaga na makapaglaro. That's why nakapag-perform and nailabas yung itine-training namin. So ayun, masaya na lahat. Almost everyone nakapaglaro.
Yes, for sure. And earlier you told me that when facing winless teams, there's no room for complacency. So in that third set, nakaroon kayo ng tight start against the Gerflor Defenders. So ano yung mga sinabi sa final huddles nyo that allowed you to pull away?
Syempre, mag-focus lang kami sa kung ano yung ginawa namin first and second set. Kailangan walang magbabago doon. So, doon kami kumapit. And of course, sinunod na namin yung isa't isa para malabas yung laro namin.
Yes, Aya. And now that you've successfully bounced back from your first loss of the conference, so what can the PVL expect from you and the Chery Tiggo girls for the upcoming games?
Of course, sa mga sumusuporta po sa Chery Tiggo Crossovers, mas makikita niyo po yung pinagtatrabaho namin araw-araw. And sana po wag po kayong magsawang sumuporta po sa amin. So,
Lastly, is there anyone you want to greet?
Binabati ko po lahat ng mga pamilya po ng mga ka-teammates ko. Especially kay Ate Za. Binabati niya daw po yung Karata family. And congrats kay Tito, sa daddy ni Aimee. Congrats po sa inyo. And of course, Laure, Singson, Carilla family. Ayan lahat na. Sarmiento family. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. And hi Elijah. Rar! Rar! Happy Halloween! Rar!
That was Aya, our best player of the game. Congratulations once again. Now back to you, Yanni and Ish.
Thank you, Kyla, and thank you, Aya, as well. It really takes a village, as shown by the Chery Tiggo Crossover squad. But later on, when we come back, we'll show you guys the final set highlights. As we see the final score, 25-8, 25-12, and 25-20 for 3 sets. And the bounce back of the Chery Tiggo Crossovers is what was the consistent thing that the Chery Tiggo did to create this momentous bounce back for them?
I think they did everything right here against the Gerflor Defenders, from their services, from their attacks, from their floor defense, their passing, and their setters did not have a hard time at all setting up everyone to score and contribute for this win. And of course, Aya Laure, one of the top aces of this conference, really contributed a lot for this win for the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. And for the Gerflor Defenders naman on their side, no, they had some glimmer of hope in that third set run. That was much better showing compared to the first 2 sets. But again, they were just overpowered and overwhelmed by the finesse of the brand of volleyball the Chery Tiggo has showcased today in today's match.
It's just their 4th game here in the PVL All-Filipino Conference. We still have more games to go as we check out our match statistics here. The half of the attacks of the Gerflor Defenders for the Chery Tiggo Crossovers. What are the things that stand out for you?
Again, everything from the attacks to the blocks to the aces. Look at the disparity. 50% almost dun sa atake, 40 to 21 block points, 11 to 2 aces, 8 to 1. Opponent errors, they tied that department. But again, when it comes to the scoring department, talagang lumamang na yung Chery Tiggo Crossovers. But again, also the intangibles, so yung mga hindi natin napansin dito sa stats na to. The passing, the defending, and the block touches na converted into great digs and set up plays for Kaganti and Nabor. Really an all-around play and win for the crossovers.
And the Gerflor Defenders will use this as a learning opportunity for them as they head on to their next match. But coming up next is the Farm Fresh Foxies against the Creamline Cool Smashers in this Halloween edition. It's a 2023 second All-Filipino Conference from Yanni Mayo, Ishpol Barosa, Kyla Kingsu. Don't go away as we bring you more spooky volleyball action here.
Oh. Hindi ko ina-expect ang ganitong question. She's really one of the best. Losing her is really, really something.
Bawat isa naman din po is ready.
Tiwala pa rin kami sa system namin. Expect that Creamline will still be Creamline.